What are we joking?
Hey,
Liv runs this
guys.
fucking show.
Yeah,
what's
she
up,
does.
What's up? Welcome back. It's Mike Frank with Frank Oliver and Company coming to you today with Andrea Soto and Heather Kelley.
Welcome. Hello, guys.
All right, before we get running, make sure everybody knows how to reach you.
Hey, guys. You can reach me on Instagram at Drea__Soto. Also by email at Andrea@frankoliverco.com. Also by text at 443-668-7776.
Oh, you did all the info. Okay, well, I'm Heather Kelley. My Instagram handle is heatherkelley230. It's Kelley spelled with an EY. And then you can reach me by email at hkelly@frankoliverco.com or by phone. It's 443-791-7732.
And Liddy Titty. Anyway, all right, on Instagram, you can always hit us at michaelfrank___ or at frankoliverco.com. You can always reach us there 24/7. Hey, so Dre, we're talking a little bit today about the ultimate final walkthrough checklist.
Yes, sir.
How do you manage your final walkthroughs, sans those that we do not speak of?
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
That didn't
Anyways,
count.
that one, well forgotten. But my second final walkthrough, that one was very good. So usually on the morning of final walkthroughs, make sure you check your calendar. Make sure that the calendar invite is sent to your client. You've followed up with your client that morning, seeing how they are doing, depending on whether you're going to have settlement later that day. Just make sure you're communicating all around when it comes to when you guys are meeting there, who's going to be there first, making sure your responsibilities while you're at the property are fulfilled. Pretty much making sure your client is there for the final walkthrough. That is what the purpose it is for, pretty much for them, along with making sure any other things are done, like any, what's it called?
Like inspections.
Inspections, yeah, thank you. Any repairs as well.
My shit muted.
Yes, sir.
Randomly. Anyway, so yeah, any kind of home inspections, repairs are going to be taken care of at that time too. But the big thing that we're taking away here, we're taking away the same marketable condition at the time that we made the original offer, right? Anything to add?
No, I mean, sometimes people even realize that they have things in their house that they didn't notice originally. Like when I had gone through with Marquise, he didn't know that there was like a back entrance to the back deck or whatever, and he had no idea. Like he just hadn't looked at it.
So
There
like
you
your
go.
first final walkthrough and dude was like, I don't even know.
Yeah, he was like, I didn't even know this was here. I was like, well,
sometimes
that's
you're
great.
just too excited, you forget.
Yeah, exactly.
features.
Like
That
there's so
happens.
much in that house that you have to look through and that like you have to be excited about that sometimes things get swept under the rug.
I think the big thing is that a lot of people don't realize how much this investment is. Like
Yeah.
they go through all the stressors and they just don't realize like they're really buying like kitchen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're really buying like, oh, that beautiful backsplash. Like I forgot.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't like those blinds in there. Like, that's something
Yeah.
I'm going to have to fix. But
Right.
it's like you've been so stressed throughout the process that you haven't had time to stop and look at the little things and see what needs to be done.
Or in certain people's case, you've been so focused on the little things that you forget the value of like making this your
Very
first
true.
home.
Most definitely. But I feel like the two can go hand in hand.
Yeah.
That's why we always say, like, enjoy the process. At the end of the day, it is a process, but it's going to be over so quickly. It's kind of like when you get married, you know?
It's life.
Like, it goes by so fast. The day just, in the blink of an eye, just goes by. And, like,
Did
that's
we
what
miss
you're
you
gonna
get
feel like.
married at some point in time?
No, but I go to a lot of weddings.
I feel like
good.
real estate for me has been like the betterment of myself as a person
Yeah, I can agree with that.
more than like sales.
I can definitely agree that it kind of makes you the priority. Like, you are your product. You
Okay,
know,
well,
in
I'm
a sense.
seeing that. I'm trying to work on it. It's magnified that for me, but it hasn't instilled the change yet.
This girl's like in her first
Can you
6
hit the
months and she's
button?
like, oh, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Heather. Anyway, no, for me, I think it's interesting because it's like such a reflection. And I think that when we go working with our clients, like we oftentimes forget like how big this is. And so it's just eye-opening, I think. You mentioned it, like, oh, Marquise didn't even realize this one little thing. Or like people
Yeah.
forget like, whoa, the backsplash looks like this.
Yeah.
And they get super, super, super hyper-focused on like the little things when there's like way bigger fish to fry. Liv, who writes all of our scripting, right?
Thank you, Liv.
Thank you.
She's actually the real estate agent, guys. We're just puppets.
Shout out
Yikes.
live _a_lot.
Right. So the first line of this week's script was we talked about what you should be doing as a buyer and seller in the days leading up to settlement, but we came to the conclusion that the answer is just vibing.
Yep.
Just vibe it out.
Like just
Vibe it out, write it out.
It's your day. Like this
Bundy,
is the
y'all.
thing, and it doesn't need to be like this big stressful experience. It can be just like a vibe.
Yeah.
And you
I
should really
agree.
like enjoy those moments that you find that one door to walk through, or like that one like little thing. Oh, I didn't realize that there was a stream back here in the backyard, or like in the winter when the fucking sun goes down at 4 p.m. and people are like, oh, the backyard's so beautiful. I'm like, did you not notice it at like the home inspection or like the final walkthrough that we had 2 weeks ago? Or like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like shocking to me. Like just vibe, like just chill and enjoy yourself.
Soak it in, guys. This
Yeah.
is yours.
We're here to deal with everything else.
So
love you, Liv.
the day of settlement, my seller who waited till the last fucking second to move out of his house. They had final walkthrough at 10 a.m. and he like got a U-Haul trailer at 8 a.m. this morning. So like, why didn't you get that the night before or like at 6? But he like went to pick it up at 8 a.m. And I'm like, dude, it's going to take more than an hour to move out. So at 10 a.m. they have their final walkthrough and the buyer comes and the buyer's like, hey, there's shit here. And he's like, yeah, we're going to get that out as soon as you guys leave. Like, we're in the process. The truck is right outside. Like, whatever, we're going to give you some space to, vibe with the house, whatever. And the buyer walks in and he goes, the air conditioning's not working. And the seller is like, oh my God, what do we do? Seller calls me and I represent. That's not nice. I represent the seller. And so, no, it's a different adjustment. That's this way. This is that way. But anyway, so I represent the seller and I'm like, dude, I don't know. When did it break? And he's like, honestly, I woke up this morning and I just thought I was like sweating. Like I didn't realize that the air conditioning wasn't working.
I thought I was just nervous.
So like they tried to get a new thermostat. Maybe the thermostat broke, which is like a common thing. And it turns out that it wasn't. So fast forward a while and we're at settlement in the afternoon and the buyer's mother is like freaking the fuck out. And the seller's like, dude, I want to help. I want to fix this for you. I want to make this right. But like, I can't afford $7,000 or $6,000 or whatever it was to replace the whole unit. And the buyer's mother was like, $7,000 or we're not buying the house. And he was like, look, don't buy the house. Like, I can't afford it. But like, I want to make this right for you. I want to do the right thing. And the seller says, can I just sit and talk to the buyer? So they literally like sat there in a room and he goes, look, I
Was the mother
understand your
there?
mom and I understand why it's important to her. And I'm willing to pay $5,000. Like I'm willing to give you $5,000 to do this, but it would help me if like we could split this cost. And if this broke tomorrow, it'd be 100% your cost. If it broke yesterday, it would have been 100% my cost. But like we're here now, can we find a way to split it? And the buyer was like, yeah, let's just split it. And the seller gave him, I think, $3,000 instead of 5 or instead of 6 or 7 or whatever the mom was like yelling about. But like that's the question. Like, what is marketable condition? What is appropriate? What is not appropriate? That deal could have fallen apart.
Yeah.
And this is where I say like a lot of real estate agents get over involved and they like project. This is what I
They
want.
make it worse.
Not calling anybody out right now, but someone in my business right now is like dot, 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 dot. But the client on that side of the transaction
Chill.
doesn't care
Right.
and is like messaging me and like, I don't care. But the person working with them does.
You should refer to them to one of your trusted agents.
Well, the person working with them is an agent.
Oh, okay.
it-
Yeah.
I feel like I know who is it. Never mind.
We don't have to name names.
Yeah.
Well, I try to be respectful
keep it-
because
No,
I
no, no, no.
ultimately do respect a lot of people in this industry,
Agreed.
even those that I don't necessarily do business the same way. But I think that it creates a divide. Like it creates a blockade when someone else gets in between the buyer and the seller.
Yeah.
And it's very much like final walkthrough is the buyer's opportunity to like love where they live. And I
Yeah.
always keep a high focus on that.
Yeah.
Speaking of this, another agent on our team, not going to like throw anybody under the bus, had a pretty rough experience with the cooperating agent on their transaction as well recently. And I got involved and I said to the cooperating agent, like, guys, remember, this is this buyer's first home. And like, this is their experience. And all of this consternation over basically nothing is ruining the buyer's experience in buying
Yeah.
their home. And like, to me, the final walkthrough should be a vibe.
Yeah.
Like,
we're supposed to be there to like de-stress. Like as a real estate agent, like you want to be a form of comfort for the buyer or the seller. You know, like they should look to you to feel comfort and like know when a situation is either doing well or needs to be fixed or needs to be improved on, or, you know, is overall not a good move. So it's like, if you're not mirroring the buyer or seller, you know, like that's like 101 real estate, like mirror your client. Like if they are a high energy client, like have enthusiasm. If they're a chill client, like have that low keyness so that you can relate to them. So that's very unfortunate.
Or pull out those pieces of them, right? Like if they're a high energy client and you can like chill them out, that can be a really good thing.
Right.
And if they're like a super chill client, making them laugh can be a really good thing.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
there's always a balance.
You know, I think that one of the things that makes me enjoy my job is making people enjoy their process. So like if someone like Marquise, who when I met him, it was like we were friends for a decade. Like it was right away, we were immediately friends. Other people I'm working with for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and I'm like trying to get them to like screech out a smile. Like there's different strokes for different folks. But to me, I think that the vibe is really key.
Yeah.
Have you never heard that before?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God.
I've never heard that either. That
That's all right.
kind of geeked me out.
Yikes. Yikes. Anyway, so I just think it's really important, and I think that we often lose sight of that. So like if I could give anybody any little bit of advice, like help the buyer and seller have a good experience. Like to me, honestly, nobody's going to care what they walk away with when they walk away with $500 more or $2,000 less or whatever those numbers are. And I'm not trying to like downplay the value of money because I know it's very important, but I think there's a lot of people that fail to acknowledge the experience that they have over a $432 like argument.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why it's like, it's so important to know who you work with and like trust them. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like if you're making literally the biggest purchase of your life and you can't even remember the name of your real estate agent, or like they don't reach out to you every year and invite you to something, or like, you know, you don't have a relationship with them, like, was that really a successful transaction?
Yeah. And there's people that like I don't have much of a relationship with that I continue to follow up and continue to follow up and continue to follow up.
Right. But that's not your fault.
Well, no, but like eventually they turn around and they're like, man, we really loved X.
Yeah.
Or they ghost you, which is fine. Like
Which
you
is
do whatever
fine.
you want to do.
Yeah.
But like my hope is that when we went for that experience, we gave you everything that you were looking for. Plus
Exactly.
The final walkthrough was like a vibe.
I mean, I think especially because the team focuses on like keeping your sphere of influence and like having homebuyer events like we do at Barco next week or this week and everything like that. Like because our focus is on the long term and a long-term relationship, like you know that our step-by-steps are going to be more cohesive and more thought out and like more intentional to bring value because we're doing it for the long haul.
I also think like I've got to give a big shout out to like our whole team. What's up? But I got to give a big shout out to our whole team because even when I have the opportunity to like hop on a phone call with one of your clients, it's never like throwing you under the bus. It's never, oh, Andrea should be doing this or should be doing that. And it's very much like this is the experience that she believes in giving. And then we have this person giving you this experience and that person giving you that experience. And it should all come together. It shouldn't feel like this like aggregated, you know, painful process.
Yeah.
And it should just be like, hey, they understand their job. And then there's this person's job, and then there's that person's job.
Yeah.
And then there's this person and that person and the other. And all together, we make a team that provides a great service.
Yeah.
Not, I am a real estate agent, I'm Superman, like, which would be really funny if I was wearing a Superman shirt, but I'm not.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, 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 wah.
She
Anyway.
has a full-time job.
I don't think that's an accurate statement.
I have a full-time job.
What a great addition as a button, honestly.
I'm literally a little dead.
Yeah.
Where is Christian?
We need everyone to have a signature sound. Dre, you need one.
I know. He's
Kevin
he's
has
at
to have like
settlement,
his
guys.
little giggle.
Well, he was supposed to be here like 5 minutes ago.
It's all right, guys.
How
Sometimes,
dare he be 5 minutes late, Mike Frank? You're never 5 minutes late. Don't do Christian like that.
Anyway.
He's doing big boy
Christian is
things.
probably the most committed one out of everyone.
He is.
Besides,
Don't say besides me. Don't look at me.
I mean, I've seen his schedule, guys. 4 a.m. 4 a.m. is when this man
So
goes to the gym.
But okay, let's circle back to the topic, right? Like Christian goes to the gym at 4 a.m. because he wants to make sure that he's present for like final walkthrough and for home inspections and for appraisals, and like he is super fucking committed.
Yeah.
And I don't even know that that's really necessary. Like I've been on final walkthroughs for almost every one of our team members, and I've definitely had team members on final walkthroughs for me.
Right.
And there have been times when I'm like, oh, hey, how was your experience with Andrea? People are like, oh, she's great. We really like her, blah, 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 blah. Ron, what was his last name? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Hubbard.
The older gentleman.
Rude. Ageism, Andrea.
I said the older gentleman.
What if he identifies?
Okay, I'm not doing this with y'all.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Anyway, yes, PA buyer that you went up there because I was out of town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
He
guy.
loves you.
He was such a great guy. He plays on a jazz band in Baltimore City. Yeah.
Can we go visit him one night?
I told him I would love to. He actually sent me. I need to follow up. He sent me his jazz club on Facebook, and I meant to check out their event times. But yes, I would love to go visit.
We
him.
need to get that box.
I'm like full dead right now.
He's so sweet. He was such a sweet old man.
I'll get up there and join him.
I'm full dead right now.
I actually won't say old. He was such a sweet man because he had literally
A young soul.
he had more energy than I did. Honestly,
Well, I mean, he's also buying a house with his new girlfriend, and he's got
he
like
was
a lot
so
of things going
excited.
on.
He was like, "My wife passed away, and I loved her very much, but now I have this new girlfriend, and we're buying this house."
Yeah.
And I know that she would want me to be happy, and I was like, you know what?
Get after
You
it.
do you,
I'm
bro.
like, you do
Go,
you,
King.
man. Like, good for you. Like, I'm glad you can continue your life and like be happy because it is a sad thing, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it is life.
He's like the model of what I want in a
Exactly,
client,
like,
right? Like he
yes.
buys into the value. We were referred him by another agent. Everybody said, "Oh, you got to work with these guys." We were so blessed and thankful. He worked with you, me, Andrea, Christian, or Allison.
I count as two people.
I count as two people, right? Allison, Christian, and John. And he was just so thrilled by everyone's experience. He understands that we have normal lives and normal jobs, and like, I have a full-time job.
I have a full-time job.
There you go, Liddy. But he was committed to working with the team all the way from start to finish. So he will most likely be around, and
Yeah.
I'm excited because he's the model of what I want to accomplish in this industry.
Can I ask
I
you guys
agree.
a question?
Yes.
Yeah.
In your experience, I know I heard your story a few minutes ago, but typically is final walkthrough stressful for you guys? Because mine was just like a walk in the daisy field. Like I had a great time. Me and Marquise just chopped it up.
I would say if you have parents there, it's a little bit more stressful. Usually
Not
parents.
for me.
Well, it's because you don't go.
Mike
to
said mothers
That's
love
not true.
me.
Oh, no. What happens is...
No.
True story. What happens is my first client in this scenario was a 24-year-old girl buying her first house, limited on funds. She's a school teacher. She's got student loans. She's got all this stuff, right? And I meet her, and she brings her parents. And we're at this house for like an hour. Not kidding you. We're talking. We're like ideology, business mind, everything. Dad's like, do you even think it's a good time to buy right now? And we have this whole conversation, literally one time. Then we go through the rest of the buying process. She buys a house. I see her dad again on settlement day. Vibes, all things are good. Mom cried on settlement day. It was kind of cute. And then I get like a text later that her sister is looking to buy a house and can I work with them? So I meet with her sister and her husband, who's like this big buff military dude, and they're living in her dad's basement. So we go for a couple showings and they say, hey, we want to go back to see this property a second time. And I said, sure, no problem. When works? And they said, oh, well, Sunday. I said, do you want to bring anyone else, family, friends, whatever? And they were like, no, we're good. Just us is good. Dave, their dad, wants to know what you think he would say about the property. So I responded and I was like, oh, Dave would fucking hate it. And they were like, why? And I said, because, the kitchen's unfinished. It needs a ton of work. Everything kind of needs to be touched, like painted, cleaned. But he would really like that it's like structurally sound. It's got a new HVAC system, newer roof. And like the garage is solid because you guys want to use that for your workout area. And
Such a dad answer.
It was like the most dad
I love
answer.
it.
So I met them yesterday and again, right? And I said, your dad didn't want to come. And the husband goes, oh, no, he's good. And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, oh, no, he was like mad that you like pegged him. But as soon as he heard your response, he was like, I
That
don't
was
need to go.
completely accurate.
Yeah, right. Like that was me. I don't need to go back.
Oh shit, sorry.
So I don't know. I find that like every showing, every experience is like the opportunity to just like chill with my friends.
Yeah.
Like, and I kind of feel like I vibe with a lot of different people. So when I get in that property with that person that like might not be my person, I'm still like vibing with them and like trying to make them laugh and smile. And like 84-year-old woman that we sold the first home to, like not kidding you, first time home buyer at like 80 some years old. And yeah, no, it was crazy. And Ryan Curley was his first transaction with our team. And she was like, oh my God, you guys were the best. And I was like, all we want to do is be here to support you. She's like, so what do I do if I have problems? And I was like, call me. And she, every once in a while she goes, hey Mike, nothing going on. Just wanted to let you know we're replacing the roof and like blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I love that.
Oh my God, that's so nice.
Yeah.
That is so lovely.
Yeah. Esther Robinson.
Because you know she's going to use you again.
We need to like write her a letter and tell her that we love her. Give her like a $15 gift card to Home Depot.
No, she's awesome. Like I invite her every year to like the pie party and like whatever.
Can
and
she come to the home buyer event? I want to meet her.
I mean, I'll ask her.
I'm very intrigued.
Her son lives in Fed.
Does she come?
I actually am going to be working. I'm going to tell you. I'm not working the party.
Oh my God, I was about to freak out.
Wait,
I'm like, you're
wait.
lying. Yes,
Wait,
you heard
wait,
her right.
time out.
You just heard her right. Yes.
I have to work Thursday.
Dun,
We'll chat about this later. I'm sorry.
dun.
CJ can say this.
Yeah, right. Just watch. Pay attention.
Oh, no.
Anyway, but like, I just think like the vibe is like the check. It's like that point that you need with your client to like know that you guys are on the same page.
Yeah.
So like when I go for a final walkthrough, nah, it's chill.
Yeah.
Sometimes people go like, what are we doing here? And I go, I don't know. Why are we here?
Yeah. I mean, I
Which
came
is
to
the
you with
perfect
the
answer
same
because
question.
you're there for them to like look at the property. And
Yeah.
then maybe you'll get, you know, as the real estate agent, like you'll grab the key if that's what your plan was.
Oh, really? Yeah. Anyway.
Grab the fucking key.
So like we.
Okay, I wanna differentiate between the two verbs bring and take. I was told take, not bring.
Anyway.
I do not accept responsibility for this.
So like we have a list, like Liv made a list, and it was like 12 simple things, right? Like check every light fixture, run the water, test the appliances, open and close the garage doors, open and close interior doors, flush the toilets, inspect the wall, ceiling, and floors, run the garbage, dispose all and exhaust fans, test the heating and air, open and close all windows, and make sure debris and personal items are removed from the home, and double check things promised on the inclusions are still there, which is like all a really, really great walkthrough.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do if one of the doors doesn't shut properly?
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, that's what
I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, like, at some point, we need to stop being, like, realtors, and we need to start being, like, real estate agents that are there to, like, help you and support you through the
aggressive.
process. Yeah, but, like, that's how I feel. That's, like, legitimately how I feel. I feel like real estate agents find a way to interject at every moment. Like, seriously, there's a car accident on the road in front of me, and nobody's like seriously injured, and someone gets out of a car on the other street and they like run and they're like, I saw it, I could be a witness. And you're like, what do you do for a living? They're like, I'm a real estate agent. And you're like, shut the fuck up. But like, I really genuinely feel that way.
I got the time.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
not
have
a
shit to
doctor,
do.
but I'm a realtor.
Right. And that's, I feel like real estate agents like find ways to put themselves in there. And if the buyer says to me, hey, this door doesn't shut properly, I'm going to be like, oh, bet we can either get a home inspector to like check it out or a contractor to repair it, or we can make a big deal to the buyer and seller today. Just let me know like what you want to do. Mm-hmm. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, nah, I'll fix it.
Yeah, it's more like, well, what do you want to do about it?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to do?
So I'm not neglecting our responsibility. It's funny, I had this conversation earlier today with a broker who was like, why would you go to your home inspection? Or why would you not go? And I was like, why do you go? And she was like, to be there for my client. And I was like, okay, but this is the question that I want to know. What value are you bringing your client being present at the home inspection? And everything that she gave me was like a worst case scenario. Like something breaks, okay, but what if nothing breaks? You know, the other agent isn't there. Well, why does that matter to you? Like if they are there, like why do you care? You know, oh, the home inspector doesn't have the right certification. Well, then hire the right home inspector. Don't you think that's your job to find the home inspector that has the certifications? And in the same way, like the final walkthrough, don't you think it's your job to like get a receipt that the seller made the repairs that they were supposed to do? Don't you think it's your job to be like, hey, don't forget to leave the, you know, free weights in the basement or like the Peloton or the jungle gym or the above ground swimming pool like before settlement? So like if you're sitting there walking through like check, Like, what good are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you really bringing value to your client? Or are you like vibe checking with Marquise being like, oh, bet, I didn't know that was there.
Yeah.
Which I think is way more important.
I just feel like it's literally the day of settlement. What the hell are we gonna do now? Like, nothing is gonna change. Like, you're still gonna buy this house.
No. That I'll argue, because like, what if there is a problem?
My one time
Right,
experience.
In my one-time
Let me preface.
experience.
So here's a question for you. Maybe you don't know.
Ooh.
At
I love
what
these.
point does the buyer have the right to do a final walkthrough?
Ooh. Dun dun dun.
Anything?
I'm sorry, can you ask the question again?
When
I'll
all
ask it in a different way.
inspections-
So the buyer, we all agree, the buyer has the right to do a final walkthrough to check the marketability of the home.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all on the same page. So can the buyer do that 2 days into contract?
No, it has to be after the inspections window, right?
Can it be 7 days after contract? 12, 15,
When is
20,
the inspections window closed?
6.
6?
Sure.
Have the occupants already moved out?
Doesn't matter. Dun, 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 dun,
You gave an
dun,
example.
Normally, right now, I'd just be like, hey, ring, ring. Mike Frank?
No, normally right now you'd be like, ring, ring, hey, Andrea. And like, look at her right this second.
Wait. Okay, so you're saying
That's not
after
true.
they've done the first inspection, asking for repairs? Is that what you're asking?
Sure.
That wasn't what you're asking.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
so what I'm
so
saying
they
is like,
have-
when do they
I
have the right to
believe-
do this walkthrough?
I believe 3 days after inspection.
Negative. Liv, do you know? No. I wish
Oh,
you guys
after-
could have seen that.
After final.
It's all right. We'll just clip this part out. Don't worry. So the buyer has the right to do a final walkthrough 5 days before settlement.
Okay.
So like if they settle
5
on Friday,
days before settlement.
they can do a walkthrough
I didn't
Sunday,
understand
Monday,
the
Tuesday,
question.
Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay.
They
But
don't have the right to do the final walkthrough 2 weeks before settlement.
And it has to be subject to the seller's schedule, right?
Well, you always need permission to go into the house.
Yeah.
So you always have to have that.
Yeah, until like sign. Here you go. Keys.
Yeah, once it's
Keys are
I
signed,
yours.
don't know
it's done.
why I just heard.
No, but like, so the key is that you have 5 days before settlement to do a final walkthrough. So it doesn't have to be the day of settlement. You could do a final walkthrough 5 days before. And if everything's good, you could do another one the day of if you wanted. But like, you got a receipt from a licensed contractor. If you really wanted to be stickler, you would verify that that contractor has their license and that it's up to date and accurate and everything else. But you, as a real estate agent, do not have the right to go in and undermine the contractor and say this wasn't repaired correctly.
Yeah.
So the question that is a real-time accurate thing, does the home inspector have the right to go in and point out that these things were not repaired correctly?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong.
No,
I'm not saying you're right.
I'm gonna ask. Are you saying like, can he point them out?
So home inspector pointed out items.
Or is he saying this needs to be redone?
So
Because those are two different outcomes.
I agree.
Right.
Home inspector says, here's 7 items that need to be repaired. Buyer says to the seller, here's 7 items that need to be repaired. Seller hires a contractor. Contractor fixes those 7 items. Contractor gives you a receipt and a license and everything else. All things are up to date. Then home inspector comes back before settlement and says, these are not repaired correctly. Does the home inspector have the right to do that? Ooh.
Does he have the ability? Yes, but I mean, is it Is it a requirement for closing? No.
No, of course it's not a requirement, but the question becomes if the buyer brings the home inspector back and the home inspector says, no, this isn't fixed correctly, who's right and who's wrong? Whose license supersedes whose? It's real tricky. So when you take that road to have that walkthrough 5 days before settlement, just so you can make sure the repairs are done correctly, are you the home inspector? No. Are you the contractor? Does your home inspector have a contracting license? Oh, he does he? Great. Is he a contractor in this moment? You have a law degree? Great. Are you a lawyer at this moment, or are you a real estate agent?
Practicing lawyer?
No, the question becomes like, in this capacity,
Right.
Yeah.
you have a law degree
Yeah.
and you're the guy working the front desk at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Someone slips and falls. Are you the lawyer or are you the guy that works at McDonald's? You're the guy that works at McDonald's. That's your job at that moment.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't take away that you have a law degree, but you don't swoop in and say, I'm a lawyer, unless you're a real estate agent.
Okay.
In which case, 2 cars get into an accident. Somebody comes running from across the street and they're like, hello! Oh my God, I saw the whole thing. I'm here. If you need a witness, here's my business card. But that's like, true or not?
Yeah.
And they have no fucking right to do that. Now, in the car accident, sure, like, I'm glad that real estate agents have a good heart. But like, in business, the real estate agent's not a home inspector.
Right.
And they're not licensed to do so. So why? Right? Like, go for the final walkthrough. You have receipts from a licensed contractor. What I tell my clients is, hey guys, we're going to go check all these items of repair. These 12 things right here, we're done. But before we go to do that, understand that the seller doesn't have the obligation to use the perfect materials. If they want to do something in steel and you would have preferred it in stainless steel, that's not how that works. If they want to do something in
Like the preference.
Yeah, like if the dishwasher is not working at the time of home inspection and they want to replace it with a scratch and dent dishwasher, unless you like super hyper specifically said,
I want a brand new.
yeah. And I got into that with one client. But yeah, it's tough. Like, what if you said I want a brand new and they replaced it with a black one instead of a stainless steel one, or a stainless steel one instead of a slate stainless steel? Like, there's so many things.
Yeah.
Just let the seller make the fixes, and you, the buyer, are buying it in marketably the same condition. Like, calm down.
Yeah.
Sorry, very polarizing. Sorry for those of us that were listening.
Yeah.
Christian's here now.
He's not here because
Well,
he's
like,
lazy.
You know, around the corner.
Anyway, any other questions for us?
No, sorry.
I kid. All right, guys. Well, we are way past our time. We really appreciate you. And thank you guys so much. It was so much fun. Maybe next week we'll have full-on onesies, everybody.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll have a
gonna be in
Superwoman
Texas,
one
but yeah.
on.
We're going to be in Texas.
We're gonna
but
try.
We'll dress in PJs at Summit.
I'm about it.
God, I would love that.
I don't believe that you will.
If we all wore
no,
onesies,
no,
if we
like
all
that.
wore, if
Like
we
that.
all wore onesies
Or
one
this.
day and we said, "Yeah, we're the team of the onesies," everyone would know who we are at Summit.
I'd be fucking comfortable as shit
Dude,
inside.
if we did that,
so cool.
everyone would know who we are. They'd be
No,
like,
no,
"Oh,
no,
that's
no.
the cool team
Let's
that dressed
do,
up in
like-
all onesies."
Let's do like matching sweatsuits, so it's cute but comfortable.
We all have matching sweatshirts.
We do
Sweatsuits.
have matching sweatshirts, but
Do
like that's
we?
also like not that new. Anyway, we're
a
gonna sign
grout
off.
fit.
We're gonna sign off with this. We could keep talking about this round
Okay,
table
deal.
it. If you guys want to, you can always reach out to Heather, Andrea, myself, Christian, where he's phantomly located. But how do they reach you?
You guys can reach me on Instagram at Drea at __ Soto and via email at Andrea at frankoliverco.com.
Gang. Okay. Heather Kelley. It's Kelley with an EY. My Instagram handle is HeatherKelley230. And then my email is hkelly@frankoliverco.com.
Lit. You can always reach us on Instagram at @MichaelFrank __ or at Frank Oliver Co. You can reach us online at frankoliverco.com, and you can always hit me up 443-668-6628, and we'll talk to you guys real soon.
Be out.
Peace out. Peace out.